Oh my god.
Have you cleared your nose?
I swear that I'm sure people do not expect to get that I was cleaning my nose. Yay!
You're always the one doing the introduction.
Yeah, I know. Do you have something? Do you?
No.
No. Yeah.
I mean, you just you have the voice. So I'm going to let you have your phone. All I can do is just add libs.
The thing is, okay. So now, I understand. It looks like. Does it feel? I don't know about you people. Does it feel like we're bashing? But it feels like I don't know. Well, if you feel that we're bashing the queer community, like it feels like we're in the queer community and we're bashing. I don't think it. Does it feel like bashing? For me, I don't think it feels like bashing. I feel that we're having our podcast will be is around like honest conversations that are hard to that should be we need to have, because usually most people would think that when there's going to be a queer podcast in Nigeria, it's usually kind of politically motivated,
politically
inclined and motivated. So you want us to talk about SMPA and all these kind of things. Yeah, but I don't know, once in a while for me these days I usually step back.
We are not even going to even like shame people that do that, because let's be honest, they are doing the Lord's work.
You guys are doing fantastic.
They are doing the Lord's work. Let's get that straight.
Let's get that. You people are doing well.
Let's get that straight.
Before somebody come and misconstrue what.
No. It's just that. Well, for one, it is, it's not particularly our range.
Yes, exactly.
It's not our range.
So I'm just.
So rather leave that to the experts.
And talk about things that we know of.
You get.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we've not yet done our intro.
No. Of course, that's what I'm about to say now.
Okay.
Which brings us to what we're going to talk about today. Because these are the things we know. We know about roles. Yes, people who call themselves tops and people who call themselves bottoms and people who call themselves verse. I'm sure you people will just be like, why didn't you just say tops, bottoms, and verse? Yeah, I know. I'm just really, generally, I'm the Abolish roles crew. That's like we keep saying is another topic for some other time. And
Dennis Macaulay assistant.
Yeah, Dennis Macaulay assistant.
Or teammate.
I
Dennis Macaulay was abolishing penetration.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. Well, either way, I'm also, in fact, I'm not my assistant of that one.
Gang leader.
I'm gang leader, chief executive officer of that one. So yeah, but I think it's kind of it's mostly about the whole abolish rules kind of thing. So yes, this is kind of like our range, because these are everyday life situations. So that's why I'm like people who call themselves tops and people who call themselves bottoms and people who call themselves broke, because I'm like it's not I don't like saying it's not a lifestyle thing. I don't just like that dichotomy, because it's that dichotomy that is creating a problem.
It's like when we had that talk about bottom shaming, and I think I mentioned the same thing too. Roles, as far as roles and sex is concerned, the entire point is, how do you get your orgasms?
Yes.
How do you get it as someone that calls himself a top? Okay, you choke your dick somewhere until you are getting close. Okay, good. How do you get your orgasm as someone that calls himself a bottom? Oh, you have a dick up your butthole that hopefully hits your prostate. How do you get that as someone that calls himself a verse or versatile?
It could be any way.
You know what? It can work any way.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes I would like to try both at the same night.
Time.
Sometimes it's like, you know what? Oh, this is what I'm down for today. Some other times I'm down for something else tomorrow. That is where the whole thing about role should end.
Yes. There's always a problem.
That is it. That's the problem I want to talk about now. The problem is that you people, I'm sorry, at this point I have to be very specific. You people, and you know yourselves, there's no point lying or trying to pretend. You know what I'm about to say, the truth. You people have carried sex roles from the bedroom to the outside.
Yes. Which is why I will keep saying people who call themselves tops and people who call themselves. I wouldn't say tops. I wouldn't say tops, and I would say bottoms.
I think it's good we actually use that.
I'm
now.
going to say people who call themselves top, because in my mind, I'm like, if you are going to be conversing with people, it should it should be like, okay, you know what? That will be another topic. But let me just before I take out the gist for another topic here.
Okay.
So, but you guys you'll keep hearing it. People who call themselves tops and people who call themselves bottoms. Because in my mind, I'm like, why are you giving? Well, I understand the importance of labels. It's good, the way we call ourselves, the way people call themselves gay or lesbians or asexual or something, because, well, it makes life easier when you can define it. Like, somebody actually pointed it out. It says the reason he doesn't see any problem. He doesn't see. I don't think I don't think we've ever been mentioning people's names.
So let's not mention names.
So, well, you people that have come across the tweets would know the person that said it. So he was like, he doesn't see a problem with asking the question, what's your role? Because, so to avoid the situation where you get into, because before you get to a situation that two of you bring out condoms at the same time.
I mean, I think that has actually happened in Shameless before. I think where this guy Ian met this trans dude. I think I pointed they're about to have sex. And and I think he was just like, you are already setting things up in a particular direction. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then he goes, I'm a top. The trans dude goes, I'm a top, and Ian's like, oh, me too. And now you guys have to sort yourselves out. That's tops.
So that's, I think, so I do understand. Yes.
But then again, there are other ways to find out.
Yeah. But the main reason why I have a problem is that there is not a dichotomy. Now, if you guys were intended to hook up, that's when I think the subject of who is on the receiving or giving end should come up.
Yeah.
When it is time to talk about who you want to have sex with, at that time of having sex with, not the thing that I won't say you people make it their lifestyle, but this thing that you keep seeing on Twitter that keeps going, bottoms are expected to, tops are expected to, See, can you see how it will sound different if I say people who call themselves tops are expected to? If you understand, you always say, tops are expected to. It makes, look, the reason why it's problematic is because we are the champions of sexuality could be fluid. And so when you now start dishing yourself in one mode, it's like, I'm expected to be like this, as a top you are supposed. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is what I expect to see. If I ever see a statement of tops are expected to or bottoms are expected, the only thing I expected, the only thing I expect to see is that, as a top, learn how to give your dick something. See,
if you are mentioning anything tops or bottoms, it should be linked to just sex.
Yes, it should be a Kama Sutra manual.
You get.
That's what I expect.
For instance, maybe as a top, you should make more effort to wash your balls and your dick before you be in your put in someone's mouth. That is, that makes a lot more sense.
That makes a lot more sense.
But the problem is that now you hear things like, as a top, you should be paying the bills. What?
It's very exhausting.
I'm sorry. What? You have automatically given us heteronormativity 2.0. So as per, as the top now, as the man.
As the, yeah.
Dude, it is ridiculous.
This other tweet I saw some other day, the tops, what did the person say? Tops will go out to look, would always have a lot of bottoms or something. If the top comes back to you, it is in your, and you as the bottom will now choose.
Or something, I think, is it something like, a top that likes you will choose you or something?
No. The person actually said tops have a lot of bottoms. You understand that you can always go out and to have plenty. So if the top should come back to you, to you, then the top has interest in
Oh,
you.
if the top comes back to you because he likes you.
Imagine. You can you see how problematic this thing is, because you people are already beginning to define
So
people. You people are defining people's personality.
So basically now you have turned it to now top is code for the man and bottom is code for a woman. Again, very problematic, because these things should be in the bedroom and they should remain there.
Yeah, do you know the reason why I keep sticking to people who call them, and I'll keep saying it, people who call themselves tops and people call themselves bottoms and people call themselves verse, is because we're beginning to turn it into a personality. So
They stop being sexual roles and they're now becoming like gender roles.
Yeah, they're becoming gender roles, they're becoming personalities. So you know how, for example, people go, cancers do this. I'm not a, what's it called? I'm not an...
You're not really all about astrology or
yes, I'm not
zodiac.
or the zodiac sign thing, but I'm not against it before people turn it around. You know how people say cancers do this, cancers do that, blah blah blah. Okay, that's one. Or let me look for the ones, the personal, let's say hair. Correct personality traits that are obviously obvious and are practiced. You know, an introvert does this, an extrovert does that. That's a personality trait. You know, an introvert is someone that is quiet, or well, there are 3 types of introverts. We are not going to go into that. You know, you get that kind of thing. An extrovert is this. An extrovert gets their energy from being around people. An introvert gets their energy from being alone. See, that those are personality traits. But when it comes to people who call themselves bottoms and people who call themselves tops and people who call themselves best, I expect it to be a set role. You people are now beginning to make it a personality trait.
Exactly.
That people who call themselves tops and people who call themselves bottoms have a personality trait attached to being called top or to being called bottom or to be called verse. Like, you people are beginning to give personality traits. You people are beginning to sound like, oh, as a Cancer, you are you care about the words of others, or you or as a something you like music, or your music is something. You see, you people are beginning to turn sexual roles to those kind of personality
the funny thing about that is that people that actually usually do this thing is funny enough. People that usually like how do you say, propagate this kind of like belief system. You check also that like, oh, a top should be this or a bottom should be that. You know, they usually this is just like a, you know, we're just digressing, sidebar. They don't even recognize that they are versatiles in the equation.
Yes, exactly.
They often don't recognize that they are versatiles in the equation, and that's the only part of the reason why I find this shit very, very, very problematic.
Very problematic.
Keep things like this in the bedroom.
So we're going to divide
again
why this is so problematic into two areas.
Let's talk about the people that usually some people that actually help and push this nonsense.
So we have, you know, our older Yoruba demons, and
our Igbo daddies, our Igbo sugar daddies.
You know, those people. Oh my God! I think when when that kind of look, I'm sure we have had those kind of experiences where you meet this older person.
Oh, I can actually tell you one.
And then this older.
But no.
So,
no. I'll keep that to myself.
As in, where this older person meets you, and then you know you exchange number, everything's all looking good and sweet. Till they start giving you the whole my property thing, and I'm like, who is your property? Tiny property here. Wait, what? Who is your what? You know, and usually the people that do that
your property is at Ibejuleki.
As in, those are the people that do that based on experiences. And of course, when you meet the Yoruba dreamers, oh Lord have mercy, the sweet words of this, you would hear sweet words. As in,
they'll say everything to make sure that you would drop down.
In my mind, I'm like, nigga, you married. You married the kids. As in, wow, this is so much, you know.
Oh God.
The ones of if I was not married now.
You
that would have got
not them.
I remember, I'm like, what? So you can see how this whole thing has eaten into.
The Igbo oneself. Some of them would actually even go as far as calling you their wife.
Yes.
Wife.
Imagine wife.
Wife.
That is the category they have put you into.
Wife, oh.
Yeah, because wife, because of the sexual role you are performing
In the bedroom. Automatically you have become wife.
Wife. You know? So indirectly you're expected to, they have just told you, you're gonna clean for me, you're gonna cook for me, you're going to do the nonsense things people do in the seaside side, we're going to be fighting who is supposed to cook. Can you see how problematic this thing is when we are carrying the sexual roles? And that's why somebody will boldly call you wife. Wife. Like that statement rings in my head. Like, why would my wife be keeping her body away from me? I'm like,
that is it.
I'm like, you what? You what?
You also come and tell you, so you are giving it away to somebody
else. Like you're giving it to you. Who do you think you own me?
Okay, you know what? Let us even try to keep that same energy for like a few seconds. You pay bride price.
As in.
Did you pay bride price?
As in.
All of a sudden now you are fine wife because you took dick inside. I don't understand from where.
As in, please.
Although, I mean, even this person said, what's his name? I mean, Vincent, that's one actually mentioned itself in one of these podcasts. Oh yes, like I said what I said, one of these podcasts I love to listen to. I think it was the Baby Girl episode, and he said the same thing like about Igbo men that like they can spend on you when they know that you are their own. And well, I mean, who wouldn't like to enjoy somebody's money? But the problem, again, is
the misogyny.
Is the misogyny attached to it? Yes, is that thinly veiled misogyny that doesn't look like it, but is there? Is that thing that's actually a problem? Because again, your gender doesn't automatically change because you take dick.
I'm telling you, doesn't. And so, I think maybe if you are here and you still don't get what we're trying to say, gender is a social construct. We should have put this in the beginning, but oh well. Gender is a social construct. It's different from sex, and when I mean sex, I don't mean. I mean sex as a male and female. You get
biological characteristics.
Yes. So gender is a social construct. That's the reason why we have gender roles. So, and that's why I find it very problematic, because gender roles change according to society. That's why in the West, you don't really see women in kekes or ride bikes, but in the East,
even when it comes when it comes to the whole idea of like marriage and how they get married and stuff like that.
Yes.
It's almost like it's like the man is going to acquire a property.
Yes, that kind of thing, and that's how our society sees it. That's why we keep saying gender role is a social construct because every society has what is expected of a man and what's expected from a woman.
Remember that documentary about the Wudabi tribe of Nigeria?
Yeah, and where in that tribe it is the woman that chooses the man as against the westernized something that we were.
The men wear makeup and come for beauty contests.
Yes, the men are the ones that participate in beauty contests, not the women.
And the women are the ones that will come and look through the contestants and say, okay, I have found my man. So you could see how gender is a social construct. So now, because of how our society has placed what is expected of a gender, we are beginning to bring that into our own community. And that's a problem.
Another reason why it's a major problem, maybe this podcast will be divided into two or something, I don't know, depending on how long, maybe it will be as long as it is. But the major reason why it's a problem, the second major reason why it's a problem is because I truly understand that sexuality could be fluid. I may not understand the experience because I'm not on the fluid scale. I never can tell. Maybe as time will go on, things will change. But
you're only on one point of the spectrum,
and I'm only on one point of the spectrum. So now, let's say the reason why I find it very, very problematic. The reason why it's so problematic. I hope you guys are still with us. Hello, I hope you guys. And so now, let's say somebody who used to call themselves bottoms. Who used to call himself a bottom, and someone now wants to transition to become.
Wants to take up topping.
He wants to take up topping. You understand that kind of thing? He says, okay, you know what? I am tired of arching my back. I'm tired of stretching my vertebrae, and so that other people can climb me like a ladder.
Such detail, though.
You
Come
know?
on.
I am trying to. I don't want to act my back again, and so I don't want people to stretch me out. No, babe, and you're not like, you know what? You want to join the spectrum of people who just whip out their dicks and hope for the best. You get that kind of thing. Maybe you want to transition. It's possible. I'm not saying.
And again, good for you.
Good for you.
I mean, there's no shame.
There's no shame. The problem usually is that when these people are moving from one sexual role to another, they begin to have
They start taking up like physical traits that people have attached to such roles.
Yes. They begin to act brand new. Their personality changes overnight.
All of a sudden you find out that somebody that used to take D before is already being all buff.
But
And then having
there's no problem in
no
gym,
problem. No problem with that
we'll
one.
get to why it is problematic.
Then you now start being all buff and then having a deep voice. Just putting up like a persona that, well, if you really look deep, it's not really you, but you are just assuming it because there are certain things you want to try.
I don't think. I do agree. However, I also agree that people change.
True.
And it's also possible that you were once effeminate, and as time went on, you became masculine. It's possible, or that you took conscious efforts to become masculine. As you see, can you see how problematic this is? Because we just associated people who call themselves bottom as effeminate.
Effeminate.
Can you see how problematic it is that unconsciously we have? Can you see how problematic this nonsense is? Can you see how it is? Can you see how we have already said start having deep voice?
Automatically, we've already like equated like tops with being masculine and being all deep and this, and then like bottom and being like, oh hello.
And can you see how problematic? I see. This is why it is problematic, because I just realized we're doing the same nonsense.
This is why it needs to be addressed.
This is why it needs to be addressed. So let's say, for example, the person who is moving to another role is now all having a new personality. You now discover that their motivation for changing is because of gender roles, not sex roles. Is because now the reason why
or else you run the risk of not looking top enough.
Yes, that's where the problem is. Exactly where the problem is.
When it's all about
the problem is not even usually about the problem. Well, like, we'll keep bashing people who call themselves bottoms. I'm sorry, because you're the ones that do the most.
We love your
but you people are doing the most. So now the reason is because there is an expectation of what people who call themselves top should be like. They should be masculine. They should be
They should basically be the alpha male.
Yes, they should be the alpha male of whatever, or in the relationship and all these kind of things. And so if somebody says they no longer want to be called bottoms, they now want to be called tops, then they start changing so that when they meet a bottom, the bottom doesn't feel, so that they can have access to bottoms.
It is someone who bottoms.
So they can have access to someone who bottom, because the people who call themselves bottoms have an expectation of who people who call themselves tops are supposed to be like. That kind of thing.
And again, people still keep negating the fact that some people give as much as they receive.
As in,
versatiles exist.
So that kind of.
They are not unicorns. They are real.
As in, so that's where it is. I think that's where the major problem is. It's because bottoms will shame other bottoms. I mean, that's where the problem is. And so these people are beginning to put themselves in what is expected of a top, because, well, if they don't put themselves as being buff or being masculine enough, they cannot top.
Why
bottom will not allow them to.
That is why somebody can now confidently say that the person that tops him, if the person that tops him is bottoming for somebody else, that he's done.
Yes.
I cannot imagine. This is part of the reason.
That's the reason, and that's why we're calling this out. That's why we're calling
Newsflash, honey, muscled guys take dick.
Yep. Sorry. Exactly. That's what we're trying to say. If you've not gotten all the rambling, we're trying to
That's
say.
the tea.
Yes.
That's the moral of the story.
That's the tea. Muscled people take dick as much as feminine people give dick. So simple. Let's stop associating femininity with womanhood. and masculinity with manhood and masculinity with the provider. Ew.
As in,
Gross.
I mean, like, look, if you are down for, like, enjoying someone's money, look, by all means, do you. I mean, if I'm in a position where, like, there's one rich sugar daddy somewhere.
Even if there's a sugar there's no indication that these sugar daddies should be masculine.
Exactly.
As in, all of us are I know we are all sugar babies in one form, but all of us are also inspired. I don't know about others, but oh my God, I'm inspiring to be a sugar daddy because, like I tell people, I was born to spoil people. So you cannot not come at, well,
I can testify to that.
I was born to spoil people. So that's it. You like, don't come and you will chop my money. Because I mean,
chop my money.
You people will chop it.
Chop my money.
You people will chop it. Even if
chop
I do
my money.
Yes!
I don't care.
Yeah, so that's it. So because now we're beginning to look at it that so people who are glucose guardians are masculine in nature. Nope.
No.
They'll be effeminate.
Like, keep sexual roles in the bedroom.
Simple.
Period.
That's the beginning.
That's the end. As in period.
Yes, let's just keep it like that.
Let's just leave it here. We have tried for today.
We've done it for today. So guys, I'm in charge.
And I'm Rowdy, and we did not give this intro stuff in the beginning, but yes.
Yeah. Alright. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye. Yes, because we can sound like that. Yes. Damn. That was fun.
Yeah, that was really fun. I think I remembered all our points.